This is a little extra tidbit that the book isn't really going into detail about how it's using or what it's using, but I thought I would share it with you, and that is its use of properties. When it starts using things for get element by ID and that sort of thing, it starts referencing things like .src or .value and all those kinds of things, and they're just sort of arbitrary. I don't really know where they're coming from, so I thought I would point you to this website, which probably looks familiar to you about now. If it doesn't, then let me introduce you to w3schools.com. Guessing you've probably learned that one in your sleep. Anyway, I want you to, if you click on references, and then you look at this link here that says JavaScript reference. And on the left-hand side, we're going to scroll down to all these things that say HTML objects. And these should all look like elements that you've seen before. So these should all look pretty familiar. But looking at, like, for example, I'm going to click on this image, IMG element. And if I scroll down about halfway, I'm going to start to see things called properties. And this is things you've seen before, but the point is when we have get element by ID, for example, .src, this is setting and returning that source value that's in our element. So if I click on src, then I can see this in use. Here's document get element by ID. We're pretty familiar with that by now. My IMG is the ID for an image element, for an IMG file. .source is that property that we just saw. And here we're actually setting that, changing that image. So we're actually changing the source of that ID. And then obviously you can try it yourself and see how that works. What a cute little picture. Click the button to change the value of the source attribute. And, oh, there it is. Okay, I guess I just had a slow internet connection. So the book goes on. I mean, all of these have properties. Now the book talks about the text input text, for example. And if we look at the input type text, we can see that we have properties such as value, and I know that that's mentioned a lot in some of the chapters you've been reading. Document get element by ID .value returns exactly that, so you can try it yourself, and it's returning the value of let's see, get element by ID my text, so we find an ID that has my text, there it is, and so that should print out whatever the value is, and that is Mickey. And so if we try it, sure enough, it prints it out. So it changes that value of that text box. So the point here in this video is not necessarily to teach you how to use all of those, but to have a reference to know where you can go to get the properties of all of these elements that we now can grab with the get element by ID method, or even get element by tag name. That's one we're starting to work with, and also by class. So that's where that information is coming from, and now you have it as a reference. Feel free to use it on your assignments.